Well, welcome again, everyone, to a brand new channel update. Hope you guys are doing extremely well out there, and lots of things to talk about this time. I mean, there's always lots to talk about, but I promised on the last update that I was working on a new video that isn't coming today because I said it'd be about 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, and the video doesn't exist yet. We'll get to that eventually. I don't want to start on the sour stuff. I want to talk about some other things. They're much more positive. I do want to mention a little bit of the updates and stuff like that in terms of channel output stuff. We got our commentary out for The Abyss Special Edition 35th Anniversary. And so me and Steve sat down, watched 2 hours and 50 minutes of the film. A lot of things to discuss here and there and everywhere, but it seems to be going down very, very well. So if you haven't checked it out, try to find the time for it. Put it on, watch it with the film, or just watch it in any type of way. And just experience things with us. And let us know how you feel about the film in general. Because we had a lot of things back and forth about, well, we felt about different things. So that's very much important type of stuff. And we are, as me and Steve recorded stuff, then we took a break and did the other half of our commentary stuff would be Predator. I kind of brought up a couple things to kind of shift a couple things around because we had the Batman commentary scheduled for about October, but the new Penguin series, which is a follow-up to the film, is launching in late September. And it's an 8-episode series released weekly, so I figured it'd probably be better if we shifted to November and try to produce it after the fact of that series running its course and everything, so we can at least if I'm going to sit down and watch it, I can at least add something on top of everything else on that. So I felt like, since it's pretty much right there, it'd be stupid if I'm like watching like the first 3 episodes and we record the commentary and we can't really say much about it. We say like half a thing about it and it never gets anywhere else. So I felt like probably wait for this series to kind of run its course, then we can record. So I think it'd be ending around November 7th is kind of how I mathed it out and everything like that. So I think it premieres on like Thursdays. So anything like that, anything in that regard. But I figured we'd shift that off that way, and then we had to move a couple things else around because we had the Towering Inferno on the schedule because this year's the 50th anniversary, but the 50th anniversary is in December, like the middle of it. And we already had a couple of Christmas like themed stuff. We can't push them around. We got to keep them where they are. This one wasn't need to be hard and fast in that regard. So we kind of shifted that off probably to January. And then we kind of felt like, okay, now we got a gap somewhere between like September or October. And so we kind of fumbled things around. So we figured, because we're doing Conjuring 3, and then we also got Creepshow coming up in October. And so I figured, we kind of discussed here and there, looked along all this, and we kind of settled on the fact that it fits in the rhythm of how we were kind of doing all the other ones in this entire franchise in that regard. So we decided we're going to do Land of the Dead. And I think Steve's disc kind of went flying out of this thing a little bit, but there we go. This is Steve's copy, the old Blu-ray for Shout Factory, Scream Factory. So I figure, first, originally we're going to do like Land of the Dead in September, then we're going to do Conjuring 3, then Creepshow. I figured, we'll just do all Romero in October. That's good. That works for me. I think that's fine. So I think we'll nail that down and just make sure, yeah. Back-to-back Romero's in October. That'll be a fun time. Talk a bunch of different things. So we'll probably do Creepshow, then Land of the Dead, and we'll have a nice discussion on that thing. So it'll tie together thematically and kind of schedule-wise after we did the Dawn remake in March. I feel like, like the 20th anniversary is in like June next year. I felt like that was way too long to wait for us to kind of follow up on the whole thing. So I figure October is a good solid piece. About 6 months from the last commentary we did, and that fits in very nice and thematically with the month. I think they'll settle in just nicely. So next month we'll do Adventures of Babysitting with a double feature of Conjuring 3. So it's like diametrically opposed type of stuff, but anything like that. So I was kind of telling Steve, like, if we're going to slot something in there, I don't want it to be some piece of crap. I don't want to be like one of these later Texas Chainsaw Massacre films that we haven't gotten around to yet. I don't know. We can push it off the next year. We can deal with that next year. I felt like we're on a good, pretty decent track of things that are not awful. Some things are a little debatable. Some things are kind of here or there, but not like garbage. Not like our My Bloody Valentine 3D or Jason X or Chainsaw 4 or whatnot. Keep things on a certain level where we keep riding a nice positive wave for the most part throughout the rest of the year, and then we can figure out different things. One thing is, I figured out with the schedule of everything and the math, the 200th commentary for myself will hit in January. So I got a lot of time to figure this out. So I'll figure out something particular, potentially, coming up in January. But anything like that. Steve, since I did 12 commentaries with Trent, that kind of offsets Steve's thing to about pretty much June when his birthday is. So it'll probably all just tie in just fine in that regard. So we have something slotted in that regard. But anything like that. So that's where we are with commentary stuff. But before I talk about more of the scheduling stuff and the wreck of things I've been dealing with for 2 weeks now. Last night I had a fantastic, wonderful time because I went to see Plush for the third time total, second time on this tour. They did a first leg, took about a month off. Now they're back into the second leg of the tour where they're moving over towards the West Coast. So they just can breeze through a little bit of the Midwest. And so I got to see them again, about a 35-minute drive. So it's about the same distance from here to there in Aurora where it was to West Dundee. So two different venues. And this venue was really, I was very impressed with this place. The Piazza in Aurora, really good looking place. Big sort of cavernous type of place. Big balconies, lots of space. Really good lighting, really good sound, all that type of stuff. Really was impressed with the whole thing. And there's great stuff all around. Before I talk about them, well, the first opening act was Virtue Furnace, who were from Nashville. They're pretty good, like kind of old bluesy southern rock type of stuff. I commented that the front man looked like Michael P.S. Hayes from the Fabulous Freebirds. It's like stuff like that for wrestling and whatnot, but really good type of thing. But the second opening act, holy hell, Drew Cagle and The Reputation. Whoa. I'm not putting this on roll. This blazed the hell. This burned the place up. These guys, oh my God. Just the fact that I grabbed two videos. One was a full song, one was a partial song. The second one was them covering Live Wire from Motley Crue, and they, whoa, live in hell, like for that. But just the fact, the guys came on stage and they started up the song. I was like, well, where's the singer? What is he not playing an intro? Then the guy came on, blazing across the stage, and this guy gets it so much. This guy probably looked at all the old school guys. I got real, not in the glam metal sense, but Bret Michaels. This guy has a very much a Bret Michaels kind of stripped down feeling to him. The voice, the kind of look to him, stuff like that. The kind of slightly cowboy type of look and stuff here and there. But these guys are from Champaign, Illinois, so not so much that, but just the fact he had everything. He had the movements, the way to work the crowd, all the type of stuff. He was all across the stage the entire night. All that type of stuff. They got the energy so much. They were just kicking the crap out of us so much. When you're talking about an opening act to warm up the crowd, he was just churning it. He was so much on. I was like, I've got to pump you guys up. We got to get this thing rising higher and higher. And they were just so fucking good. As soon as the set was over, I got up on social media and started liking stuff and following them up on YouTube Music, all the type of stuff, everything. All over the place. Checked out their music video when I got home. Awesome type of stuff. Because the guy said the latest music video, the latest single they did, recorded in Nashville with the same producer who worked with the Eagles and Alice Cooper. So this guy has got some juice to him. I'm definitely saying, guys, we link below to check some stuff out. Go check it out. Like living hell. Oh my God. Just crazy, crazy stuff. So after that, just blew us the living hell away and just, oh my God, all over the place. Plush took the stage and they're just fantastic. Just like every single time. Again, third time I've seen them. Saw them in July last year, saw them in May this year, and now this again. And they're just fantastic every single time. Pitch perfect is what I've been saying. Just awesome. Just, I don't think it was much a different set, but it felt a little bit different. It feels like as they've gone along and kind of worked this set more and more, they kind of found the ways to kind of make these smooth transitions from one song to the next, keep the free-flowing thing going. It just felt like it was a little bit more refined to a certain degree of how they approached it and how they moved everything along here. So they're just fantastic, just awesome type of stuff, just so goddamn good. So goddamn good. I did not do the VIP thing like I did last time, and I just went there and had a good time. They did, after the set, they were talking to people here and there and doing some fist bump stuff like that. I feel like I'm too polite. I feel like I need to be not like stupidly assertive, but I feel like I need to kind of just act more upon the impulse to just engage more. So I didn't really get any kind of interaction or anything like that, but I was just like, I just had a good time. All the type of stuff. It was just great. And they were signing stuff after the set and everything. I didn't have anything to sign. I didn't bring anything along with me in that regard because I didn't do the VIP. I just didn't think there was anything for it. But just the experience alone was just absolutely fantastic. It sounded fantastic, looked great, all the type of stuff. Just I love the fact that this place had these big video screens in the back because they're kind of a sports bar to a certain degree, but they had the big video screens. They were able to do different animations, put up these like fire graphics at certain points in time in certain sets when the mood felt right. When they were doing Barracuda, the fire graphic went all over the place, and it was just like that just amplified the set to the next level. And they know it so much. They know exactly how to plot out that set to get the right ebbs and flows, get the high points a little bit more, the quieter type of stuff, but then ramp it back up and all the type of stuff. They're just perfect. They didn't do the encore type of thing because the way the entire place is set up, it's very just completely open space. It's not like an easy place to kind of run off stage, then come back on. They'd have to do like 20 yards or whatnot to walk off stage and go back or whatnot. They just felt like, we'll just do the entire thing run through completely, all the way to the intended point of encore without actually doing the run off stage and wait for the applause, come back, stuff like that. So kind of adaptive to the setup of the entire venue and stuff like that. So it was just fantastic. I just absolutely implore you guys, check this band out. They're just fantastic. They're just ambitious, energetic, and they're so appreciative of absolutely everyone. Great type of stuff, just really, really fantastic stuff. So that just puts me on such a high. I'm tired today. My voice is a little here and there because I was belting my ass off, belt my voice out last night. But I was so amped up when I got home. I didn't get to sleep until after 3 a.m. So a bit of a rough wake up today. But I'm getting there and stuff like that. But it just, I needed this. I really fucking needed this, and I'm so glad. Anytime they come around Chicagoland, I will absolutely 100% be there no matter what. I'm just that big on these ladies. This entire band is just rock solid, skyrocketing like living crap. I'm so happy for them, and just love seeing all these people coming out to these shows, supporting them so much. I loved hearing other people sing along with the songs last night, stuff like that. So just like awesome stuff. I got there pretty early. I got there way earlier than I need to be because the doors were scheduled to open at 7 o'clock. They let us in like 6:15 because we're just all sitting out there and there's nothing else to really sit around and wait for. So the thing didn't start to almost like 7:45. So when the first band went on and stuff like that, but the entire thing was really, really good. 2 opening acts, both of them first one did a really nice job kind of getting things a little bit, warm up a little bit, but then the next one just blazed it like living hell, and Plush just followed up with just an amazing set. They're fantastic. I just can't get enough words. They're amazing, awesome, ecstatic about what they do here. So I'm just so excited for what they're doing. I know they've hinted that they have something potentially planned for next spring. They haven't said anything about what. Maybe another tour, maybe something bigger. I'm sure they'll be working on new music come maybe the end of the year, maybe the early next year, something else like that. I'm sure there'll be something more new coming along in due time. So we'll see how things go, but I'm just so much on top of this, guys. So bringing things a bit more back down, I want to talk about where this Terminator 2 thing is not gone. Because here's the entire long tape here. I'm going to try to make it as succinct as possible. As I upgrade my Mac from Mac OS Mojave, which is about 5 years old, to much more recent Mac OS Ventura. As my friend Oliver Harbour told me well before then, the entire thing with the capture devices, the old one I had, which was just a USB capture device over to the S-Video or the composite cables and whatnot, it doesn't want to acknowledge it anymore. Whatever the case is, where the chip is, where the technology is, it just doesn't acknowledge this thing as anything. You plug it in, no matter what you do, it just doesn't acknowledge it as something that's compatible with the new OS. So whatever software you're using, OBS, anything like that, even just QuickTime, it all just goes through the same thing. So it just won't acknowledge this as anything at all in the computer. So as things went on, I don't really have everything over here. I kind of left it over there, but had to get an HDMI capture card. But the fact of the matter is, I can't really just plug this. There's no HDMI on this thing, so it's useless. So I had to get a composite to HDMI converter. And the first one I got here, it was okay, but I kind of noticed something. Not so much in the stuff I'm looking at now. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like when I was doing like a VHS rip or something else like that. When it kind of looked like the picture kind of got cropped in and zoomed in and whatnot. So I kind of felt like I really don't want to use this one. And also comparing this one to the later one, it has a higher contrast to it. The highlights are more blown out. There's much more crushed black, stuff like that. It really kind of futzes with the image in that degree. So then eventually got this one over here. These are both cheap. These are both cheap things, and that's probably kind of the problem here. And I got this one, and look, the general picture is much more proper, much more kind of true to the look of actual Laserdisc and everything like that. But as I'm trying to capture stuff now off of this entire thing, because when I did the stuff for the Phantom Menace Retroview series thing, I still had the old OS, so I still used this old technology and everything like that, the old capture stuff. So I hadn't used this for the production of a video yet. And as I started capturing all the Laserdisc stuff, and I eventually went back a couple days later after I did all the work, all the hours of capturing stuff, I started noticing that it's doing a terrible job of deinterlacing. There's like artifacts all over the place, like ghosting and smeared and everything. It's like it does a terrible job. These things do a terrible, terrible job of deinterlacing the 480i source and scaling it up to 720p or 1080p, and there's nothing I could do on the back end. I tried everything imaginable in OBS Studio. Every possible configuration. I tried other things as well. I tried other software. Didn't do a goddamn thing. It's all from the converter box. There's nothing I can do. And the deinterlacing things I have in OBS Studio don't do fuck all for this entire thing. It just, since it's already a deinterlaced progressive source, it doesn't do anything with the damn thing. Now, if I had something that made it from 480i to 1080i, maybe that would do something. I don't know. I was saying if it maintained an interlaced video signal all the way through, maybe these problems wouldn't exist, but that's not really a thing that exists. All these things kind of just go to a progressive source. And so I went around. I got stuff from Amazon and returned stuff back to Amazon. I drove down to Micro Center and grabbed something from there, and then returned it back to there a couple days later. It's like none of these things do a good enough job in that regard, because they're the low cost type of things. They're not developed with terribly good technology. The fact is, I even, beyond the computer, I plugged them directly into the TV through the HDMI thing, and they did a worse job of processing the image than me just plugging the actual RCA cables directly into my Sony TV. The Sony TV itself has a better deinterlacing upscale effect than these pieces of technology here. And it's like, I can't output video from the TV. It doesn't do that. The output is the screen. There's no way to do that. And so, kind of mess up the entire picture. And it's like, this is below my standards. If I'm going to show this footage as like true to the source type of stuff, and have it presented in a way that's like, okay, this is how it looked, and how the things progress from one release to the next, one transfer to the next, and stuff like that, from one format to the next, I have to have a good quality, even source in that regard. I need to have it look like my old captures did. Now, the good thing is, not for this video, but at least the fact that I kept all my Star Wars Laserdisc captures from my previous videos. They're still on my external hard drive. And I still have a Laserdisc capture, I believe, with a special longer version of Star Trek the Motion Picture. So if I ever get around to that numerous versions of Star Trek the Motion Picture, I at least still have that old capture that I had from a couple of years ago, where I grabbed it for a guy named Drew, who does this Star Trek visual comparisons, Star Wars visual comparisons here and there and everywhere. I grabbed it to give it to him to kind of use for his entire thing. And so I just kept it on one of my hard drives there. So I still have that. So I don't have to go back and deal with that, or if I can get eventually like the widescreen version from the box set they put out. But regardless, I still have those saved. I did go back through a couple of my old hard drives I have in storage here, and just like, I don't think any of them are old enough, or just I stopped using them at the exact right point in time to have those on there, and there was no trace on there at all. And there was a couple, I have two of them over there that just don't work at all, so anything like that. So I went through everything possible. Yesterday, I got the other idea in my head, because I knew about, like, through the Laserdisc forums and the Laserdisc, like, discussion groups, stuff like that on Facebook, that there's also there's kind of another alternative to doing like a scaler to a degree, because they used to have DVD recorders Now, you could plug in like an analog source into this thing and use it almost like a pass-through into a TV where it would kind of do a progressive scan. Deinterlace, anything like that, didn't go very well. And the fact is, I ran around to a bunch of Goodwill stores because I didn't have fuck all to do else yesterday afternoon before the show, so I figured what the fuck else. So I went around to a couple of them. I did find, the only thing I found was one that had a component output. It didn't have HDMI. But at least component can work as a, did have a progressive scan, anything like that here and there and everywhere. But the fact of the matter is, this is Goodwill. It didn't have the proper cable. It didn't have a cable attached to it. So I started fishing around to the other stuff and the electronic stuff just to find another one that would fit there. Then I remember Goodwill used to have, maybe they got rid of this when they do the COVID stuff, but they used to have little like plug-in stations, like little power strips you could plug things in and test them. They're not there anymore. So I had to roam around the store. I found one freaking outlet to plug things into, and I plugged it in, and nothing happened. I hit the power button, I hit the eject button, nothing happened. And so I don't know if it's just the fact it might have fit in the entire plug, but it might not have been the right plug for the power source it needed to. I don't know, but the fact is, I was like, no, this is the end. This is the end. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not obsessing over this anymore. It's taken up 2 weeks of my life where I've gotten nothing done. And so it's like, okay, I'm not going on eBay. I'm deleting all this shit off of eBay. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just done. I'm done. Done for now. Done for now, because I can't keep running around on this thing because it's driving me fucking crazy. I need to get progressive and productive on other things. So it's on pause right now. I still intend to do it, but I need to just move on and come back to it when I have things better figured out in that regard. Because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, RetroTink. This entire really high-end converter, deinterlacer, stuff like that is used a lot for like gaming and stuff like that, but they're like 80 to 100 to 200 some odd dollars. Like they get really expensive. And right now I'm not looking to spend that much money. I know it's very good for people who are doing like retro gaming because you're going to use it very regularly. I'm going to use this for about 2 or 3 videos a year. I'm not going to use it on like a regular weekly basis or whatnot, like every couple of months. I just feel like I can't justify the cost of that. It's just not that much because I'm not going to use it while watching the things on the TV. I'm just using the capture footage. And how many of these videos, like I said, how many videos of these do I do a year that use the Laserdisc stuff? If I'm not doing like a home video history thing, a lot of the retro video series stuff doesn't really require that as much. So it's like, I really couldn't justify it. It's like when I did the Blade Runner one, all I had was the Blu-ray. I didn't just rip stuff off the Blu-ray and stuff like that. And I don't have a single fucking thing off an analog source. There was a DVD and a bunch of Blu-ray stuff. So it's like a lot of these things I can do without getting Laserdisc stuff. Only particular ones have to do that. So just like I can't really justify like $80, $140 on the entire thing when I'm not using it on that type of frequent basis for it to pay off for me. So it's not like I'm using it for something that's very much entertainment based. I'm using it for something very productivity based. That's very seldom in that regard. So just like I can't really justify that cost. And so maybe I'll come back around to the DVD recorder thing. But trying to look for this stuff on eBay is like, it's a fucking pain. Either you come up with something that's might be good enough, but you're not entirely certain, or you got something that's like, oh, it's 4 parts of repair, or it's like there's these DVD players with USB direct recording that keeps coming up the fucking search. It pisses me off because there's like a third of the fucking search. It's like I gotta stop this. I can't keep going around in this entire circle. Like I said, the video is not dead. My friend Ewan, who worked with me on the Highlander retro video stuff, he offered, because he has the T2 Laserdisc set, the special edition one with the leather binding, all the times, the leather box set with the metal emblem on the cover. He offered to capture his version of the entire thing, his copy of it, to capture it for me. I told him, like, it's not happening right now. You don't have to rush for it, but if you could capture it for me, at least when I do figure things out, I don't have to spend another 2.5 hours capturing that version as well, because I went through and captured all 3 versions that I have on Laserdisc at least once, and then I got through maybe like 2.5 of them before I went back and saw it really didn't improve everything. Everything I went through I thought was going to fix it really didn't get fixed. And so I spent a lot of time. This is like 8 hours worth of time just having to sit there and capture everything, sucking up time with the computer, and just having it was just too much. I just can't go back around to this sort of thing. I'm just really going to get sick of it if I don't take a break. So that's the explanation for that. So if anyone's got any other ideas or not super expensive type of stuff, point me in a direction. Or anything like that. If you've got Laserdisc and you've got a certain setup, you've got certain things you can give to me as an idea. I know there's a lot, again, there's like DVD-O upscalers are like a couple $100. There's a lot of stuff out there that's very, very expensive in this regard because I've been saying for like the last week and a half, new tech does not like old tech. It don't want to work together. It doesn't like what the old tech is doing because the new tech really can't process it as well as the old tech did straight through on that type of thing. So I even got parallels for the entire computer here, where you can install another OS on the computer through the entire software there, and I downloaded another version, official version of Mojave, and reinstalled it. But the fact is, since it still has to kind of work through Ventura, it still doesn't acknowledge the old capture card, so it didn't work. And I tried so much to get the old capture card to fucking work. I got a link from, I went through like the old capture card to like, because I found something that looked like it was a HDMI to like a mini USB, and apparently it was like to a mini HDMI thing, so it didn't work at all. So I eventually got, because I got a connector device from the USB to like a micro USB, and then I eventually had to get an HDMI to micro USB. And the fact is, I got everything powered on. There's power to the old, to the converter, the USB, the HDMI thing, and there's power to the actual USB capture card, but through this entire chain, it just wouldn't acknowledge that there was a signal to anything. So just like, it was too many things converting to one thing to the next, and it was dead. So I just like, this is done. I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck it for now. So, give me a moment. It's a lot of shit. So, yesterday, after I closed the book on this whole thing, I had to figure, okay, the thing I was thinking about doing previous Wednesday, when things were still, I'm still chasing the end of this thing, trying to see where things are going. I decided, okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a video on Bourne Ultimatum. I figure, like, it's something that's kind of easy for me to probably get done in maybe about a day in terms of like the research, watching the film, shooting the whole thing. I potentially could still get it done maybe today, or at least get the research done, watch the film, get my nose together, and then kind of shoot it maybe late tomorrow night. So I figure like that's something I can really kind of get up on. When I started reading more and more stuff, it started looking more interesting to me in terms of like behind the scenes production stuff. There's some things a little bit of turmoil behind the scenes in some regards. So there's some interesting stuff at that point. And also, Ultimatum is the one I watched the least amount of times, because it's so blown away by Identity. I thought Supremacy was so fantastic. This one I've only watched, I don't know, maybe 3 times or something like that. Not a whole lot of times. I just never feel as much compelled to watch this as I did Supremacy, which I always felt was much more emotionally investing of a film. But I want to finish off the trilogy, since I took like 3 years to get around to doing Supremacy after I did Identity. Wanting to wrap this up, because I was kind of throwing this against maybe like Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, but I know Rogue Nation, there's a lot of research I have to get into. I want to re-listen to the commentary track, go through all the behind the scenes stuff, find other things. It wasn't something I could get done in a quick turnaround in that regard. So I felt like Ultimatum is a good type of thing for me to get up on. I can close the book on the entire thing, have some minor comments about Bourne Legacy and the Jason Bourne film from 2016, and close off in that regard. So I feel that'll be kind of a nice refresher. And then Thursday, I am going to see in IMAX, because they're just the earliest showing, it was a matinee, Alien Romulus. So I'm going to go see that. It's a 3 o'clock showing. And so I'm not promising I'm doing a video on it, but at least it's a consideration, because I figure I'm taking the Thursday off, and things have been kind of heavy and whatnot. It's kind of exhausting at work. So 2 weeks ago, I just figured, fuck, I'm just going to take 4 days off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to have some time off to kind of catch up, relax, stuff like that here and there. So it's a possibility. There's definitely a lot of promotional video footage out there. So there's some things to grab from, featurettes, clips, trailers, stuff like that. So I can probably maybe put something together. I'm thinking about it since I did Covenant back in 2017. Maybe. I'm considering it at least. I'll see where things go for the rest of the week, but hopefully I'll see it. I'll have a certain opinion about it, something that kind of motivates me to share it, And we'll see where things go in that regard. So, maybe. But just short type of things in this regard, not much more. But I did sign back up to Paramount Plus, and I've been watching through Star Trek: Strange New Worlds from the beginning, every single episode, and this show just gets better and better. I know there's some people who get a little bit hung up on certain things that don't feel like they kind of fit in continuity, like whether it's production design or certain other things. Feel a little hairy on certain aspects of the entire thing, but I'm trying to like at least kind of push it off to the side, not kind of dwell on that too much. But I'm just like, I'm really liking this thing. I've previously watched certain episodes here and there, maybe a half dozen episodes at the most. I'm just going through and just seeing the progression of this whole thing, and it's just very damn good. Very damn good. I'm about a third of the way through season 2 right now, so I only got 2 seasons, but maybe about 6 or 7 episodes left. But fucking hey, this show is really goddamn good. Just the fact after the Picard season 3 thing, and I've just been on this roll, just like a lot of the new Star Trek, between Picard season 3, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds. I love it so much. And there's a Star Trek convention coming to Chicago, about 20 minutes away from me in Rosemont, at the end of September. Now, there's not as much information available just yet, because they just did Star Trek Las Vegas, so they're kind of letting that kind of breathe a little bit. Then they'll kind of ramp things up to talk about what the prices on the single-day passes are, what all the guests are going to be, all that type of stuff, all the attractions. I'm considering it. Well, depending on the price and everything like that, I'm considering going to it, because I've never been to a Trek convention. I'd be very pleased to kind of just engage. So I'll figure out what things going on in that regard, but very good type of stuff. Just like I loved Prodigy season 2 as well, and everything going on. So there's a lot of positivity. I always, as soon as they drop, every single time, Alex Perry does Weekly Trek for Trek Core. I listen to every single episode he does, because he's got a fresh co-host every week. He's got talking about all the Trek news and everything like that, and the recent developments and recent episodes, stuff like that here and there and everywhere. Every single week, every time something drops, I listen to it. Also, I catch almost every episode of Trek Ranks from Jim Morehouse over on the Tricord Transmissions Network. All that type of stuff. These are 2 Trek things that really keep me going kind of week to week in that regard. So, really do kind of endorse those if you're a Trek fan. Definitely check those things out. Again, links in the description below. So, that's all I've got for you guys right now. So, I'm not projecting anything further than the next kind of week or so in that regard. So, Commentaries is much more further out because we just planned that out to the end of the year. But in terms of like what's in production for an actual on-camera video, stuff like that, I'm just kind of need to rest a little bit and kind of focus on smaller things and figure things out in a bit more of a leisurely pace in that regard. So, thanks guys for your patience. Again, I'm tired right now. I'm feeling more and more tired as I go on. So, thanks guys for checking things out here. Always thumbs up on everything you guys watch and enjoy here. Very much helps things out. Comments so much, and just like liking, subscribing, sharing things around, all that type of stuff is the most important thing to keep things vital around here. Very much vitality to everything that's happening on the channel here. So very much appreciate that, guys. So thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.